Paranormal Insights, we're going to take a look at GMOs and how they may be affecting us and our health.
And we're going to the New Earth Expo in Stockton and talk to Darren Smith with Komong Dragon Imports.
And a question from Jenna about her career and what she should do. I'm Joseph Ernest Martin.
And I'm Cindy Grayson.
And this is Paranormal Insights, where we bring you the latest and best from the metaphysical world.
Here you get real tools and insights to your questions as we bring you answers from beyond the ordinary.
Cindy is a certified hypnotherapist with a specialty in past life regression. She also works with spirit guides and white light entities as a medical intuitive.
Joseph is an award-winning psychic of over 25 years, and he's the author of the international bestseller, The Quest to Row. Joseph is also the recipient of the Visionary Award of Excellence.
You know, I've been looking at GMOs and what that actually means, because the potential for really great things happening with the invention of new food or new food types for medicine, research, health, healing people is really there. But this is food we're putting in our bodies that we haven't had a chance to adjust to in an evolutionary way. And I just feel we can't predict the outcome of these things.
Oh, obviously. And I really think that all the issues that children have right now, attention deficit, all of those things, I believe it's tied to not only the environment but the food, because we also know the pesticides that they use to grow all these foods are very harmful when tested. So what they're trying to do, they're avoiding the testing, and they're trying to do a media campaign with the public that everything is copacetic. We know it's not, and we know that it's affecting an entire generation of kids. They have issues that we never had growing up, or our grandparents.
California recently had to vote on whether they wanted food manufacturers to label GMOs on their products. Unfortunately, this measure failed at the polls. I say unfortunately because I believe that everyone needs to know what is in the food that they are consuming. Also, it seems that the campaign telling consumers that GMOs are safe from the giant manufacturers, such as Monsanto and DuPont, has been very effective, if not accurate. In the 2004 documentary, The Future of Food, written by Deborah Coons-Garcia, it becomes very clear that the manufacturers have not been truthful about the facts concerning GMOs. Scientists like David Suzuki, CC, OBC, PhD, LLD, who is a geneticist, have been warning people and governments about the negative effects of GMOs on environments and consumers. Corporations have stated that the reason they were developing GMOs was for the benefit of people. They wanted to increase yield on crops and create crops that were drought tolerant and pest resistant. Unfortunately, studies have shown that none of these benefits have actually occurred. Quite the opposite is true. The monoculture that Monsanto and others are striving for is extremely hazardous for our health and the environment. Take, for example, what will happen in a monoculture if a virus or pest attacks a specific crop, and this pest is resistant to current eradication techniques. This would be unknown to science, and they could not stop it. This will completely devastate and destroy the food supply. If you think that this can't happen, think again. Most people do not know that this happened in the 1990s with the corn crop in the United States. This huge loss of the corn crop was only stopped when scientists went to Mexico, where they have over 120 different kinds of corn, and luckily found one that was resistant to the pests. Our planet thrives on diversity, and because of diversity, we also thrive. With scientific study after studies showing that GMOs are hazardous to the environment and people with no government response, it now comes down to us to protect ourselves. This is why GMO labeling is important on all products. Just because the label on your food does not say that you're getting GMO foods or ingredients, you might believe that these products must also be GMO-free. This is not the case. Consider your chicken. It might be free-range and hormone-free, but that does not necessarily make it GMO free. The GMOs can be in the feed or the environment that the chickens are free-ranging on. As shown in numerous studies, GMOs cross over and pollinate with native plants, therefore contaminating the biosphere. The best way to avoid GMOs is to look for the label saying GMO-free. The law is that they must be certain that no GMO product was used in the raising or production of the food or product before the label can be used on that item. Don't allow yourself to be a guinea pig with GMOs. No one can yet predict the outcome of these genetically modified organisms. And we can't predict what this is really all about. We just don't know. We don't know if this food is going to change us in a way where we don't want that change. What if the change in this food makes people dumber over time and over generations, or less sensitive, or more high-strung emotionally, or more violent? We may be altering the entire fabric of what we're doing in our culture and in our society simply by changing our diet, which is something that happens. When your diet changes, what you put in your body changes also. And we know that we evolve. We just can't predict how that really affects us. And being someone who's psychic sensitive and someone who is feeling energies and seeing things from the other side, I can tell you, I wouldn't want to eat things to alter that.
We've all heard a lot of talk about GMOs, but do you really know what the hype's all about? A GMO is a genetically modified organism whose material has been altered using genetic engineering techniques. Those techniques include the use of genetically modified microorganisms, such as bacteria and yeast, insects, plants, fish, and mammals. Genetic modification involves the mutation, insertion, or deletion of genes. Among the original stated uses for genetically modified foods was agriculture, biological and medical research, production of pharmaceutical drugs, and experimental medicine. So why should this be of concern to you? GMOs have been in the mainstream of U.S. food industry since the 1990s. In the U.S., GMOs are in as much as 80% of conventional processed food, which means most people who are not intentionally avoiding GMOs are consuming them daily. Thousands of medical experts worldwide question the safety of GM foods. Many health professionals believe that there is a link between GMOs and the dramatic rise in life-threatening allergies and antibiotic resistance. In lab experiments using rodents, genetically modified foods impaired the digestive system, damaged the liver, interfered with the reproductive system, raised infant mortality, caused sterility, disease, and death. More concerning, though, are the health risks that have not yet been identified. So how can you avoid GMOs? Be especially wary of corn, soy, canola, and cottonseed oil, as these food products have often been genetically altered. Look for food prepared with pure olive oil, not an olive oil blend. Avoid dairy products, including hard cheeses, artificial sweeteners, and processed foods. Shop at supermarkets that carry foods made with non-GM ingredients. At this point, you might be motivated to grow your own produce and raise your own livestock. If so, be aware that many seeds and plants have already been genetically modified, as well as the purchased feed for the livestock. If you want to grow your own food, be sure to buy certified organic seeds and plants. However, if you live in a farming area with other genetically modified produce, be aware that the insects and wind could easily cross-pollinate your organic food with the modified food. While it is possible to eat non-GMO food, it will take intentional action on your part to minimize the GMOs in your diet.
If anything, I would want to go more in the healthy realm in order to enhance that ability so that we are more connected and that the outcome in our own society is one where we are more sensitive and feeling and loving toward each other. And I just don't trust corporations to program in to anything that is genetically modified.
Right, and you and I both know that when you get ready to do psychic work, that you really have to eat clean and you have a clearer channel from the other side to really interact with people and receive information. We also know that if somebody has been through something like an accident or something horrific with their health, it often will rewire the brain and more information can come through. So one has to ask, with genetically modified organisms, will it rewire the brain in a way that will actually interfere with our connection with the other side, which is really opening up right now. With 2012 happening, the energy shifting in the earth, we don't know how this is going to play out.
The environment is a fragile ecosystem that is being willfully attacked by big corporations for the sake of money. As investigations move forward, it is obvious that the only agenda the big corporations have is with their own wealth. Why else would they create a seed that has a terminator gene that does not allow it to produce viable seeds, and that can only be germinated when sprayed with a specific herbicide? If Monsanto, DuPont, and others were willing to spend $45 million in California to defeat Prop 37, you might want to ask yourself, what is in it for them? I don't believe that they are altruistic or have the consumer's best interests at heart. To find out more about this, watch the movie, The Future of Food, and put GMO into your search engine. You'll be amazed with the information that science will show that GMOs are not only bad for your health, but for the planet. That is such a fantastic point, because we know for a fact, at being psychic sensitive people, and the psychics I talk to, and the healers, and the sensitive all over the West Coast, that when we go to do sessions, especially an involved session, what happens for us is we avoid what we call all the whites. No white refined sugar, no white refined flour, no pork, no dairy, so that we are a purer channel for what is actually happening for the session, so we can actually get what's happening and make that adjustment. I know that for myself, like everybody else, you know, white refined sugar is kind of like the drug of choice. I think we're supposed to get around 6 to 7 teaspoons a day is maximum, and the average American gets around 22 teaspoons of sugar. That's an incredible thing. No wonder we have diabetes. No wonder we have all these health problems. We are taking this refined white poison, or as they call in metaphysical circles, the white death, and we're ingesting 3 to 4 times as much as we actually should every single day.
So why isn't the FDA protecting us? According to Jeffrey M. Smith from the Institute for Responsible Technology, in 1992, the Food and Drug Administration claimed that they had no information showing that GM foods were substantially different from conventionally grown foods, and therefore were safe to eat. In reality, internal FDA memos made public by a lawsuit revealed that the FDA's position was staged by political appointees under directives from the White House to promote GMOs. FDA scientists warned that GMOs could create unpredictable, hard-to-detect side effects, including allergies, toxins, new diseases, and nutritional problems. The FDA scientists recommended long-term safety studies, but they were ignored. The FDA does not require any safety evaluations for GMOs. Instead, biotech companies that have been found guilty of hiding toxic effects of their chemical products are now in charge of determining whether their GM foods are safe. According to Mr. Smith, the FDA official in charge of creating this policy was Michael Taylor, Monsanto's former attorney and later their vice president. The reason for bringing this information to light is not to frighten anyone. Instead, we hope to motivate people to do their own research so they can make the best decisions for themselves and their families.
This family's been cultivating it for 100 years because, for instance, Monsanto owns the patent on that other seed. And when it blows into his farm, he now unlawfully has that seed and is quote-unquote using it. Now, in no other area would we ever even consider that that is a way to play fair. But these corporations have so much money and power, they are limiting the ability for people to protect themselves from things they don't want.
That's right, and when you get to write the rules, guess what you're going to do? You're going to make sure you favor yourself.
And now we go to the New Earth Expo to see Darren Smith and Komong Dragon Imports.
Hi, we're here today with Darren Smith from Komong Dragon. Darren, you have a fascinating journey of how you got to this place, and I think our viewers want to hear. How did you get here?
Okay, well, I lived in Taiwan for 13 years. While in Taiwan, I started getting interested in metaphysical stuff, so I started like reading palms and studying palms and the tarot and stuff like that. And then I went down to Bali and lived there for 6 months. While I was in Bali, I actually got the name Komong. They named their kids, the first child's named Putu, the second one's Made, and the third one's Komong. So Komong Dragon actually means the third dragon, which I just thought it was kind of a cool name for a business.
That is a cool name. I think that's fascinating because I've watched you at shows for years and you've got the most interesting pieces here. I have to ask you, do you have some favorite pieces?
Too many favorite pieces.
Okay. Why don't you tell us about a few of them?
Okay. Well, this is one of my favorites. This is Kuan Yin. Just turn her towards you just a little bit. Kuan Yin is the goddess of compassion. She also protects women and children. This is a brass piece, and you can see her. Usually, she's standing like this. This is a very typical standing statue. Here she's sitting. This is called the Royal Ease Pose, and there's only two deities that can sit in the Royal Ease Pose: Buddha and Kuan Yin. It's reserved for the upper echelon. She's also a protector of women and children, and she also draws in aspect of like family values and family togetherness, because sometimes she'll have two children next to her, and they're children that she actually adopted from an evil deity. So that's one of my favorites.
So what are some of your other favorites here?
Let's go on to Ganesh.
Okay.
This is a very typical statue of Ganesh. He's a Hindu god, which Kuan Yin I didn't mention is Taoist and Buddhist. This one's Hindu. He removes obstacles from your life path. So what happens is he has an axe for chopping away obstacles. He has his tusk that he broke off, so he actually broke off his tusk so he could chip away at things. And then this ring thing's actually a missile launcher. He can project, little missiles. And then he always has something in his other hand to feed himself, because it's always important to nourish the soul, is what goes on there.
Fantastic.
Right.
So maybe we can slip in like one more favorite piece that you've got.
Well, I'd have to go with the Pichot. These guys, they always come in a pair. There's always two of them. They are actually dragons. They are the 9th offspring of dragons sent to Earth by the Jade God to protect mankind from evil. They'll protect you from anything. All you do is put your hand on their heads, both of their heads, think about what you want, and then they help you create that. So, and they also draw silver and gold. So if you place them in the feng shui section of the house, which is the back left, it'll help draw money.
Fantastic. I know that I could just go on with this for probably a half an hour and ask you about how these help with feng shui, but I think that's another interview.
Yeah, they do all have feng shui meanings.
Oh, fantastic. So, Darren, I'm sure folks are going to want to know how to get a hold of you and take a look at what you have and how to get some of it for themselves. So how can people find you?
Well, the best way is here at the show.
Okay.
Because I pretty much follow Dean all around the planet.
Okay, so New Earth Expo.
Yep.
Right.
Other than that, Komong Dragon at yahoo.com. You can send me an email.
Fantastic. And is there a phone number?
Phone number 209-518. I just got it like 2 days ago, so I'm not really sure. 209-518. What's the rest of it? You're supposed to know my phone number.
You want me to call? We'll put it on the screen for you.
Yeah, right.
So, Darren, I want to thank you. This is fascinating, and what a story that brought you here. What a journey. And
yeah, it's been fun.
Gosh, I wish you well for the rest of your journey. You've got a long way to go, and this is great.
3160. Got it.
There we go.
Senior moment.
Okay. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you.
Okay. You know, I had a lot of fun with Darren. I've seen him at shows for years, but I really got to know him that time. And I found the backstory behind all of the items he has that he's presenting there. It's just wonderful. He never just went out shopping for sale purpose. He was overseas. He saw things he liked, he boxed them up, he shipped them to his mother, they got put in storage, and now he's in business.
Oh, he's not only in business, but he has like the best stuff. I wanted to buy this white jade reclining Kuan Yin that was so beautifully carved. I couldn't even believe it. Of course, it was a little expensive, but so beautiful. I thought, I've just got to get this for my mom. He really does travel the world to bring in the most amazing items for everybody.
You have to look in between all this stuff, and there's just these beautiful little jewels in there. And I don't mean jewels as in jewels, little fun things. Now we have a viewer question from Jenna, who has a question about her career and where to go.
I'm looking for guidance in the career that I'm supposed to kind of carry on with in regards to preferably either going maybe medical or going in the youth realm. So I'm needing a little bit of help with that.
Jenna, this is a very important question because career matters a lot. What we do in the world, where we put our energy, how we make things happen is important to us, our life path, and indeed our karma and destiny. Now, I've already mixed the cards. I've asked your guides to come in. I've asked my guides to come in. And let's take a look at what they have to say about a career path for you, whether that is in the medical field or whether that has to do also with youth. So this is kind of interesting, I just got to tell you, because sometimes our guides will really answer our questions, and sometimes they really want us to make the decision. And as I tell you what this says, you're going to understand why I'm prefacing it this way. Well, the first thing I want to tell you, Jenna, is that you have a great future ahead of you. You have the Sun card, hope, new growth, amazing things happening, wonderful future. So I feel very positive and happy for you about how you're going to be going forward. You have the multiverse card in the base of the tree, and you have the blank card in your outcome position. Why am I bringing this up? Because I believe your guides are saying this is your decision to do what you want to do. It's important that you're passionate about the decision you make. Your guides don't want to tell you what to do. Whatever you choose is going to be good for you as long as it's your decision and that you're passionate about this. Such good fortune awaits you in your future. Please don't worry. Please don't be consumed with doubt. Instead, calm your emotions and know that things are going to work out so wonderful for you, you can't even imagine that yet. You've got to be like the emperor. You've got to stand up, take charge, and take control of this new destiny and this new direction in your life that you will be deciding. The universe is going to totally support you in this. It's going to be helping you with luck, showing you how to go and where to go. It's going to be helping you in every way possible. Now, if you put yourself in the victim position in this situation and say, why me or why not me or something like that, then you're just going to mess with this great energy guiding you along to your best future. You've got to stand up, not be the victim, be the hero, and go forward taking charge of the direction you want to go. You can always change your mind later, so it's no big deal, as long as you decide and it's passionate. Now remember I told you that the blank card is in your outcome position. So that means anything can be possible for you as long as you create it. Now the blank card is like a blank canvas, so it's like you're painting the painting you want to see in your own life going forward. Jenna, take control, make your future a beautiful, gorgeous painting. I believe you're going to get all the help the universe can offer.
Jenna, there is no one right answer. You have a healer spirit. Your guides are telling me that you want a career that makes a personal difference for people. Please be aware that while working with people will be very rewarding and will feel right for you, the administrative burden will be difficult for you to deal with. You will see how best to help people, but will have to overcome the administrative barriers. Do not think that logic will be on your side, because it won't. You're part of the group that is here to break down the systems that no longer work, like administrative barriers. It will be difficult at times, but always remember who you are, a healer. Remember that being a healer is your passion. Don't become a rescuer. Instead, help others to help themselves. You'll be confronted with people in dire need. Keep balance in your life and don't sacrifice your family's safety and comfort in an effort to rescue someone. People need love, guidance, and healing. Over time, you may leave the bureaucratic race and become a consultant so that you can simply focus on your gift of healing. Your guides are also saying that there will be times when you feel like you have failed. It's important to remember that healing takes many forms and that some people don't want to be healed. Once you can embrace that concept, you, my dear, will soar.
You know, that was a lot of fun for me because, you know, for me anyway, her cards were so open for her to decide exactly what she wanted. And that puts the energy and the ability to be passionate directly in her lap. I think she's going to be fantastic.
I think so too. And what's interesting is that you and I both, as we say every time, we do our readings on different days in different counties. And what's important is that we both, right off the bat, got there is no right answer.
Yes.
There is no right answer for this. It's what you want to do with it. You have that healer spirit. You've got that gift. You're going to go into this with an altruistic mindset, but be aware that there are going to be administrative barriers and burdens that you're not going to feel right dealing with, but you're going to have to do it and overcome it.
And I like the idea that she herself, a gifted healer, is going to be out in the world with such a great, loving, and beautiful heart. We want to answer your questions and address your topics. If you have questions you want answered or topics you'd like us to look into, we're easy to find. You can find me at questtarot.com or email me at joseph@questtarot.com.
And you can find me at cgraysonhypnosis.com or email me, cindy@cgraysonhypnosis.com. You can watch this program in the Sacramento area on Comcast Channel 17. Please see accesssacramento.org for more details. And in the San Francisco Bay Area, you can watch this program on Comcast Channels 23, 28, 29, and 33. And throughout the state of California, you can watch this program on AT&T Uverse Channel 99. For additional channel listings, please go to betv.org and att-services.net. And we will soon be in the Long Beach and Modesto areas, as well as ivoltv.com and Roku.
And you can find us on Facebook, Vimeo, or YouTube. Simply search Paranormal Insights, Joseph Ernest Martin, or Cindy Grayson. And be sure to watch our new series, The Magic Minute, where you'll learn easy-to-use, everyday magic that makes your life better, exclusively on YouTube, where it only takes a moment to make magic. And when you do, be sure to click like and subscribe. Please send us your questions and topics,
so we can share our paranormal insights
and answers from beyond the ordinary.